Last episode, I really like what you're doing. I really like you bringing these sticks to the forefront to the episodes. Because Trinidad is something I've always seen. And believe it or not, I have a Trinidad in my humidor. Mm-hmm. And that Trinidad sat in my humidor for about 5 years. To the point that it's okay, all right. So I'm gonna tell him myself. Because I was talking to my daughter this morning. She was asking me,
drop it, it'll go
crumble. And she was like, "How many cigars do you feel like you've ever had?" And I said, "It's got to be close to 1,000 by this point." But hold on, the first question she asked me was, "How many cigars do I have at home?" Because I'm like, "Oh, you gotta get a cigar. You're doing the cigar. You're doing your podcast today, right?" And I was like, "No, I got a couple at home." And she asked me how many I have at home. I said, I got about 4. She's like, "No, you got way more than 4. You got way more than 4. And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." Because I got a humidor full of cigars that's been sitting there, not taken care of, not been doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and just falling apart. They're probably really brittle. If I picked them up, they probably would fall apart. So I got to tell them myself. I'm doing it again. I'm telling them myself. I'm being transparent and vulnerable right now, man.
Those cigars are supposed to be at home, being treated like pets and family, but instead they're in prison, in your possession.
In prison, in my possession. Because you can't keep cigars on hand for several years if you take care of them. Mm-hmm. And Trinidad's one of the cigars I picked up years ago. Sat in the humidor. It's been with a few of the other ones. Cause I got 3 shelves. Okay, so I have 3 shelves in this one particular humidor, and the ones I smoke frequently, I always keep them at the top because I know they're gonna be my quick grabs. Then I have a shelf at the bottom that I just never go to. And that's the problem. I need to rotate my cigars better. I need to go ahead and put my cigars in a better position. And then once it got to a point to where I know I'm not taking any care of these cigars down here, I just let it go. I just kept them there. I never done anything with it. Never try to recover them. And it's just years gone by. And it's been what it was. So sorry, Trinidad, for you being one of those sticks that I got in the basement of my humidor.
You know what it is, right?
What's that?
No, you always talk about labels and brands and stuff. And if you just take the logo off, it's just as good as some of the other stuff. Trinidad fell victim to that. They just didn't have the logo that caught your attention because you were in all these brands and names and stuff. The Rockies was jumping out at you, and the Cohibas, and the Romeo y Julieta.
And the Romeo.
Myself. And you just didn't give them a shot, man. They were less exciting.
Yeah. I have a Grand Habano that's down there. I got a Gurkha that's down there. I got a Trinidad that's down there.
Yeah, I got a couple other ones. Stash too. It just ain't gonna get smoked. It's from years ago too. It's old. It's the same way. I took that Gurkha just like that.
And here's the thing. I feel like Trinidad. It's not that it's not a sexy name. If I see something to say Trinidad, it should catch my eye. To say, hey, look, Trinidad. What kind of tobacco are we talking about here? It does sound like it should be intriguing, but it just never garnered the same kind of attention that a lot of the other names have garnered. That, like you said, if I get a Rocky, it's probably gonna go to that top shelf, and it's probably gonna get rotated and smoked pretty quickly. I get a Davidoff, it's going to that top shelf. I get a Liga, my father's, it's going to that top shelf. An Oliva is going to that top shelf. And I'm just never working myself down to the basement and go and grab those lesser names. Yeah.
Well,
so
hey man, we having the conversation, which means you'll probably have to shift at some point in time with some of those names.
No, I will
go to the bottom of your humidor.
I will. And so what I will do is I will start to go through my humidor and find out what's good, what's not, what can be salvaged, what can't be salvaged, and start to rotate and start to pay closer attention to what I have in my stashes and not always lean to the hot name, the hotness or the new hotness. Even though Rocky got a couple new sticks that I do want to try. You know,
Don't he always?
can't just say what? Don't he always?
Don't he
Yeah,
always?
always. And I'm pretty sure after the new year, he gonna have something to commemorate 2024 too. It's like, all right, we got a reason to drop another one. Let's drop it.
He already got it in the stash, man. He just ain't found a name for it yet.
It's in the tuck.
Rocky boy.
So yeah, I'm gonna get to it. So that's what I'm saying. I appreciate what you're doing, bringing light to these lesser known names, lesser smoked cigars, and even putting the heat on me as your co-host. So I'm hoping it's doing the same for those who are out there in the cigar world, who are watching us, seeing us smoke these cigars with these names, and saying, you know what? Let's pay more attention to them. Let's do right by them. Let's do right by these guys who are putting in work, especially when you know they're going to the pillar. If they go into the pillar, they trying to get right. So hey, Trinidad, you're leaning on the pillar. You went to AJ, so that just tells me what kind of cigar culture mindset that you have. So you deserve more. You deserve better from a guy like me.
Yeah, and the more bigger players we can have in this game, the better for us as the aficionados, man. Because truth be told, we don't want it to become a monopoly. You know,
right,
so we need more creative minds, more variety, more people doing different blends and giving us some different flavors and textures that we haven't experienced before, man. This is, and Trinidad right now, shout out to Trinidad and AJ, because this thing is sexy right off the bat. Not gonna lie to you, I can't hold you, bro. This is off to a good start. You know what I'm saying? It's got a nice little dark chocolate thing going about it, and a very, very creamy smoke with a little bit of spice on the retro hell, but it's done so perfectly. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, all right. I like where we at. We off to the races. Like I always say, I can get an idea where a stick is headed initially as soon as I get started. You know what I'm saying? And right now, off the first couple of draws, I'm like, okay, we headed off to the races in the right way. You know, so